Good evening and welcome to Estuary TV News. I'm Hugh Richards. Tonight, 2 Scunthorpe caretakers save a man dying in the street. And I'll be talking to a campaigner for fast treatment for heart conditions. But first, old Grimsby trades can still draw the ambitions of people in the rest of the country. A Hertfordshire boy won an essay writing competition by describing his desire to be a deep-sea fisherman. His prize was a day at Grimsby fish dock.
What do you want to be when you grow up? Most of us said things like a footballer or a pop singer perhaps, but not 10-year-old Jack Cosgrove, who won a Rotary Club competition writing about his aspirations to become a professional fisherman. And for his prize, a trip to Grimsby Fish Market to catch sight of the true scale of operations here.
I won an essay competition at my school, and the prize was to do what I want when I grow up. And I wanted to be a fisherman, so I came here at the fish market.
We get the usual list of people want to be footballers or hairdressers, so it was an interesting choice. But as I say, it was the passion he had in the essay that made us choose his as the winner.
Georgia, 230, Jacqueline in the back. Georgia.
Literally tons of fish come through this market every week, mainly from Iceland and Norway. And unlike many crop sales where supermarkets try and fix prices, the auction ensures fishermen get a fair market price for their catch. Opened in 1996 at a cost of £15 million, it's one of the country's most modern fish markets. And one of the men instrumental in getting it built was one of the Rotarians showing Jack around.
Well, I've spent virtually all of my business life within the community, and as you say, here I was 10 years here and 3 years before building it, so it is my baby as such. So it's lovely to see it put to good use still, and how the changes have occurred to bring us up to the present date. But it is fascinating for them to see that amount of fish on the market, and to smell it and to touch it.
Jack's from the south, where they gobble up cod by the gallon. But he has certain tastes that should help him if he ever does realise his dream and end up working offshore from Grimsby.
What's your favourite fish?
Haddock.
And far from put his aspirations on ice, Jack's even more hooked than before. James Dunn, Estuary TV News.
Looks like a brilliant day. Now we'll go straight over to James Dunn at the fish market. And James, I think you're talking to the man who runs it.
Now I'm coming through the turnstiles at Grimsby Fish Market. I'm here to meet Martin Boyers, who is the Chief Executive of the Fish Market. This is one of the biggest of its kind in Europe, isn't it? I mean, what sort of tonnage are you landing here?
It is. Grimsby Fish Market is recognised as one of the most important fish markets in the UK, which is great for Grimsby and great for us. Last year we handled about 17,500 tonnes of fish, about 350,000 boxes. That was just through fresh fish for auction. On top of that, we did a further 5,000 to 10,000 tonnes direct, and then on top of that, there's probably another 50,000 to 60,000 tonnes of salmon goes through the job. So it's quite a busy place.
And where does the majority of the fish go?
Well, more to the point is where it comes from. The most of the fish that we sell on the auction actually comes from Iceland, but we do have vessel landings. As we enter the spring fishing season, we're getting more fish from North Sea boats, so we'll have some good British fish. But predominantly the fish that arrive to the auction is Icelandic. So there's about 60% of the fish we sell, fresh fish we sell, is Icelandic fish.
And obviously we've just had the Easter period. I mean, is that still a busy time for you? Do people still eat fish?
Traditionally it's a great period, and demand is very strong. Unfortunately, supply has been able to match it in the past. Because Easter is such a movable feast with time, we can't always guarantee that the supply will match demand. But there is a consistent demand for fish at Easter, and it is a tradition that people do fortunately stick to. So for us in the fish industry, you genuinely get a lift of demand of fish.
And does that mean a lot for local companies, local fishermen who work in the industry?
Well, both sides of the river in Hull and in Grimsby, there's still a huge amount of business connected to the fish industry, so it's an important time of the year for everybody. It's an opportunity to be busy, it's an opportunity to make money, and an opportunity to look to the future and see how you can actually develop the business.
And I don't want to sound negative, but people do often say about the fishing industry in the area, you know, it's not what it was 30 years ago. But I mean, this is still a thriving hub of business, is it not?
Well, the fish industry is in a transition at the moment, and of course things are not like they used to be, but that's mainly to do with the catching of fish. So both in Hull and in Grimsby, we don't have the amount of deep water trawlers that we used to have, and that's well documented with the cod wars and so on and so forth. But I would actually say that now there's more fish comes into Grimsby and Humber than ever used to before. A huge amounts of fish are coming in here. You've got the biggest, 4 of the 8 biggest fish processors in the UK are in Grimsby. So you've got a huge amount, notably with Young Seafood, you've got Sea Chill, you've got the Saucy Fish Company, you've got some massive businesses connected to fish. So Grimsby is a real hub, and the Humber region itself is a massive hub for fish supplies, fish processing, anything connected to fish.
That's brilliant. Now I'm going to take you over here. I'm going to just take a look a little bit about where the fish is actually packed up for transportation. You can see or get at least a bit of a clue as to what happens here. I mean, this will give you an idea of the scale of the fish that is actually transported. And this is obviously just one of the many larger rooms where the fish is actually packed up. And most of this will be delivered to supermarkets.
Tesco, Morrison's, various.
And I'm going to come outside now and talk to Paul Lechon, who's the market manager. Thank you very much for joining us, Paul. So tell me, that's the supermarket side of things, but obviously one of the most important parts of this is the auction. What's the point of having an auction? How does it benefit fishermen?
Well, it's prices. They get, you know, it's not a set price. They can, and the quality. If the quality is better, they get more for it.
So supermarkets often set price, don't they?
Well, they'll buy it off these for a set price, I would imagine. Then they sell it at their own price. And
can that be a detriment to fishermen at times?
Yeah, because if there's sometimes when there's too many supplies, it gets low. You know, and when there's not so many, it can be high. But it's not always the case.
So I suppose that market value can help you.
And depending on the quality of the fish, like if it's good quality, you probably get good money.
And you can only get that from an auction?
Well, yeah, because it's processed, and you know the guys who buy it, the processors, so to speak, they know what they're buying. They can see what they're buying.
And it's a good place to work?
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for joining me today, Paul, and thank you to Martin Boyers, the Chief Executive. I'm James Duns, Estuary TV News. Back to the studio with you.
The speed and knowledge of 2 passers-by probably saved a man's life when he was struck by sudden illness on a street in Scunthorpe. Richard York reports.
A Scunthorpe man has praised the fast thinking of 2 workmen who he believes saved his life. Lawrence Churchill was walking from his home along Prime Road to meet his wife at the shop when he suffered a heart attack and collapsed in the street. 2 North Lincolnshire Homes caretakers, Herb McKenna and Rick Naylor, were working in a property on the street when they saw Lawrence fall. They both rushed over to help him and used their first aid training to keep Lawrence safe until an ambulance arrived, potentially saving his life.
And my wife went in and I thought, oh, she's probably gone to the shop round the corner, could she? And I didn't even get to the top of the road. You know, and before I know it, all I seen was I just blacked out. Hit my head on the pavement, did my leg in, but they were the ones that kept me going. And if it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd be here today. My love goes out to them and their family, and I want to thank them for my wife's, my children, my grandchildren. They all thank them so much, you know, because at the end of the day, I don't want my wife to have to make a phone call saying your dad dropped dead at the end of the road. And if it wasn't for them, that might have happened.
Workmen Herb and Rick believe they were just doing what any other person would do in the same situation. To them, it was just another day at work.
Because we don't make anything of it.
We just went straight back to work again.
We just go straight back to work and carry on, like.
Yeah.
As long as he was all right, that's going to
first. Like, we did go round to see the young fella, like, to see that he was okay. And his wife gave us a kiss and that and said thank you very much for saving his life. You know what I mean?
But, to us, it was just a general, you know, just a normal thing you do. I mean, like I say, if I was laid on the ground, I'd hope somebody come stop and say, are you all right, mate? And help me, like, you know. You just can't leave anybody laid there. It's not into thing, is it? It's just not right.
Yeah.
So it was just a general thing we did. So we got up, wait for a response to come. They took a couple of minutes. Then big ambulance come behind him, and then we went back to work, and that was the...
Just another day.
Just another day's work, just another day's work.
That story emphasises the importance of a fast response to heart conditions. I'm joined by Dawn White of the R.T. White Foundation, and they're campaigning for cardiac equipment in public spaces. Dawn, welcome.
Hi.
What is it that you're looking for exactly? What do you want?
The thing that we're trying to do as a foundation is get defibrillators in all schools across North East Lincolnshire if we can. Obviously, it's a deep meaning to me and my family and the rest of the foundation to try to get these things into schools. It's really important for a fast response to, you know, cardiac arrest in the young.
Well, we'll go into your family connection in a moment, but there is a problem, is there, in that young people have heart conditions that we perhaps don't respect enough?
Yes, definitely, and especially at the teenage years as well, that are undetected. We don't have tests in this country for children, heart tests, random tests anyway. So it is really important for children to be able to have the chance, if they do collapse or faint, and it's a heart, if a quick response is there, then it's better for them.
What difference does a defibrillator make, and how can it save lives?
Oh, it's a big difference. If a defibrillator is on site in any school, and it cuts the survival rate literally 75% survival rate if a defibrillator is used.
Along with the defibrillator, you also need somebody who knows how to use it.
Yeah, but with all this, with the defibrillator gets put into a school, the training comes free with a defibrillator. So we're trying to fund defibrillators because all the funding has been pulled across North East Lincolnshire. So we're trying to raise money and put defibrillators into schools. As a foundation, it would be a big achievement for us.
What response have you had from schools?
Well, we've had some schools are very, very cautious because they're worried about the insurance implications,
Sure.
and they're worried that this could backfire on the school if it's wrongly used, but they can't be wrongly used. I think a 6 or 7-year-old can use them. It's very, very simple. The pack comes and it literally, it's a recorded voice and it goes step by step, tells you exactly what to do, but the training does come free with it.
The R.T. White Foundation, it's named after your father, and his death at a young age. He was a well-known footballer around here. He died terribly young of a heart condition, which is a genetic condition which you share with him and your late brother shared with him.
Yes, that's right, yes.
Just tell us a little about that condition.
The condition's called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, and it is quite a common heart disease, but it's the sort of disease that you don't know you've got. There's no symptoms that comes with it. It is just really sudden death. So
what? Absolutely nothing.
No. My brother got a lot of dizzy spells, and so did I as I was diagnosed. And I think that's probably because your heart's sort of pacing at a different pace all the time. It's an electrical fault in the left side of the heart, so it's very hard to detect when you have this condition.
And your father died at what age?
52. My father was.
And your brother?
39.
And both men were active, fit,
oh,
athletic?
Yes, definitely, yeah. Non-smokers, drank occasionally, the right sort of way, as we sort of all were, but I don't think it makes any difference to if you have a heart disease and you don't know you've got it. You can live with this disease, as we've found out.
Clearly you do.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, it is genetic. You've passed it on to your son, which is why you wanted to introduce the defibrillator to the school.
Schools, that's right,
What can people do? You're trying to raise money. Is there anything people can do to help?
Not really. I mean, obviously supporting the R.T. White Foundation, which most people in Grimsby do. We have a really good support network, which we have a golf day that's run every year, which is in May this year. We have a sports dinner. We do occasional dinners and dances and things like that to raise money, bowling and
Dawn, thank you. I'll have to stop you there. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
That's all for today. Emma's back next week, and for that week, if you have any stories, then please email us at estuary.tv, contact us via Twitter or Facebook, or give us a call on 01472 315561. From me, goodbye.